What's going on, guys? My name is BJ and this is Praska Boys Garage. Man, that feels so good to say because we are back in the shop working on projects again. Now, behind the scenes, I have been doing a few things and I want to get you guys caught up, starting with my 1980 Arctic Cat Kitty Cat. So let's go ahead, roll that intro. All right, guys, let's get started with where I've been and what I've been doing. Now, it's been over a year since I've posted a new project on YouTube, but don't worry, I haven't been working on projects behind your back. I've just not been in the shop almost at all. I would say probably less than 10 times in the last year I've actually stepped foot out here to work on something. And a lot of it was due to I had some back problems. I actually had a herniated disc in my lower back, and so that kept me from the shop. And I had an overwhelmingly amount of projects piled up that were kind of half started. And I filmed all of those projects in the start of those projects, but when they sat for so long, it just kind of got me real anxious on what do I do next? What videos do you guys want to see? What videos do I want to do that I can be passionate about? And it caused a lot of almost like a writer's block or a vlogger's block, so to speak. But in this case, I'm just ready to be back in front of the camera filming and working on projects. But that left me in a position where I'm like, I just don't know where to pick up. So here's what we're going to do. I have spent some time the last few weeks cleaning out my storage unit of my projects. And I mean a full 20 by 20 storage unit full of projects. And I've just been de-stressing myself. I've just been releasing some of the stuff that I've been hanging on to that I'm just probably not going to get to. And I've been selling those projects. But a couple of them have some sentimental value to me. One in particular, my 1980 Arctic Cat Kitty Cat. This thing it's just super cool. And when I got it, I was so excited. I think even in one of my videos, I had said this was going to be the next project on the channel. And it just kind of got put to the wayside. Powder coating took a little bit of time. And I kind of lost the enthusiasm behind it because winter was over. Well, right now it's springtime. I'm cleaning out all those projects. I just had a hard time selling this one in pieces. So I started putting it back together. Now, once we got to this stage, I realized I'm going to pick up the camera. I'm going to let you guys know what's going on. So that is exactly what we're going to do. Now, before I go ahead and show you what we've done the last couple days, I do want to roll some footage from back in 2019 when I first disassembled this thing. I've got some B-roll type footage stuff to show you, kind of give you an idea of what it looked like when we started, when it came back from powder coat, and then I'll touch base with you guys on where we are right now. Sit all the way back as far as you can. That's the cutest thing I have ever seen. Well, it's just so tiny. It doesn't go very fast. He's already stuck. All right, let's go sit. Let's go have him. He's like too light. On the table, you can see I did the tunnel in green, the front and rear end in black, and the rest of the stuff all in green. Handlebars, the skis, and the shocks. Everything looks great. I went ahead and ordered some factory rivets to replace. So as of right now, I'm going to go ahead and put all the rivets back in and get this tunnel and front end piece all complete again. Alright, so I'm going to clean up some parts and see if I can't put this track back in the sled. All right, we are back in the present now, and you saw from those videos, it used to be hot pink and purple. The guy I had bought it from actually was a body shop guy, and the quality of the paint was actually very, very good. But for his daughters, he wanted a hot pink and purple sled. Well, for my sons, hot pink and purple, definitely not their first choice. So my goal was to make it a boys sled again and make it the Arctic Cat green and black. So we went ahead and started that process. Now, as far as today is concerned, let's dive deeper into what it looks like right now. I went ahead and basically buttoned up a lot of the small things that go into this entire assembly. I would say it's probably 90, almost 95% complete at this point. When I got it out of storage, I had to get the whole front belly pan riveted on. You can see the rivets right down in there. So that got riveted on. The skis got assembled. There's new bushings in here. I also threw on a brand new sprocket and chain because the old sprocket, well, it was looking a little tired, which tells me some kids over the last 42 years have gotten quite a bit of use out of this thing. Now, replacing that was not cheap. I think that sprocket alone cost me $90 from a vintage Articat seller, but it was definitely a needed part when putting this thing back together. A few of the other things we've done since pulling it back out of storage: put the seat back on, got all the controls for the brake and the throttle linkage put together. You can see both actions are working perfectly fine. I did pull the carburetor off and clean it, but I'm having some issues. I don't know if it'll pick up on camera or not, but you can see it is leaking. That seal is probably 42 years old, and we need to replace it. Also, the gas line, I had 1/8 inch and I had 1/4 inch, but I do not have 3/16, and that's what it calls for. So I tried to make it work, but it was also leaking at the carburetor. So I need to pull the carburetor off. We need to replace that seal underneath the bowl and put on new gas lines. Other than that, it's running really, really well. So we're going to go ahead, finish that up, and then I'm going to talk about the plastics. All right, I quickly ran over to the hardware store. I grabbed myself a hose clamp because we're using zip ties right now to hold down the gas tank. Although it is functional, it looks like absolute crap. So we'll go ahead and replace that. And I also went ahead and grabbed that 3/16 fuel line. That way the fuel line and fuel tank are completed. But we got to jump onto this carburetor. So let's go ahead and pop this thing off. Now that we've got the carb off the snowmobile and on the table, we're going to be replacing this bowl seal. I know it's probably bad because when I cleaned it, it looked pretty crappy. But I thought to myself, hey, it's been on there for 42 years. Let's just see if it works. Well, we know it didn't. So we're going to go ahead and pop this back open and clear that out. But I do want to share one thing with you guys first. With my 2-strokes, the reason why cleaning this thing originally when I got it out of storage was super easy was because how I store my machines. And I want to share that process with you. The first thing, if you guys aren't using shelf gas, look, I get it. Some of you want to mix your own fuel because it's more manly in your shop. Here's the deal. Shelf gas like this, is it more expensive? Absolutely. But it has a shelf life of 3 to 5 years in most cases. So when you put this in your fuel tanks, it doesn't start deteriorating and breaking down, and it doesn't start gumming up your carburetor. So for me, when I use my 2-stroke stuff, say like, leaf blower, chainsaw, weed whackers, those kind of things, I can leave this fuel in there all season long and know that it's not going to break down and cause me a problem later. So when I go to store these things, I drain all the fuel out of them. I put some of this fuel in it. I run this stuff clean out. And then I just use some fogging oil, take off the spark plug and fog the cylinder. And that's it. It literally takes less than 5 minutes to store these things, and it will save you hours of headaches or possibly even rebuild kits when you pull them back out. So with that being said, it was very easy for me to clean this. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna pop this bowl off. You can see now I did already clean this ahead of time, but it was almost this clean when I pulled it out of storage. So, and then there is the seal we need to replace. All right, so at the hardware store, they had not the exact size, but we'll see if we can get that guy to fit in there. No promises. I don't think so. Let's see. Let me see what we've got in the stash. Well, I've gone through my entire shop and I cannot find anything that resembles anything close to this gasket. It's a specific size. This is a Mikuni carburetor, so I'm sure they make the kits that you can order, but I'm trying to get this accomplished today. So the one I got from the hardware store, it's too small. The one I've got in the shop, it's the right size, but it is too thick, neither of which will work. So I think my plan of action for right this moment is to take some grease and just go around this gasket, get it into place, and in this case, we're going to flip it upside down. So you can see this is where the groove was for where the bowl had put pressure up against it. I'm going to flip it this way and see if I can't get it to seat back up again. So it's not the best solution, but it's the one that I have to work with right at this moment. And like I said, I'm trying to get this thing finished up today, so I'm going to see if I can get that to make a good seal. All right, so we're going to take just a little bit of grease, not a lot, because this thing is not very pliable. It is pretty hard, actually. Now, before just throwing it right back onto the snowmobile, I'm going to go ahead and bench test it. So we're going to get some fuel set up here. Squeeze bottle to put fuel in the line. It is full. There's fuel all the way, coming all the way up to where you guys can't see. Fuel all the way up to here. And so now we're just going to wait and see if anything comes out of it. I brought you guys over here because while that's sitting on the bench over there making sure that it's not going to leak, let's go ahead and pull the gas tank off. Let's get the fuel drained out of it so we can put the new clamp on. All right, let's go check on our carburetor. And I would say we are dry all the way around. So I'm going to take that as a win. We're going to put the carb back on and see if we can't get her running this way. Would you just go in your home? Get in there. You can see I had to put some 1/8 inch line inside the 3/16 inch line to go ahead and fit that nipple, and then just ran it all the way across to the carburetor. So now I'm going to fill it back up with the fuel and do a leak check again. Don't see any leaks as of yet. Let's see if it'll run. Keys on, chokes on. All right, guys, so there you have it. It's running just fine, no issues whatsoever, and the leak is gone. Now, is that the solution to our problem? No, it's probably a short-term fix. I'll let the buyer know, hey, here's what I found out and you're probably going to want to do in the future, but for now, it holds the fuel and it runs just fine. All I have to do to finish this motor up is put the air box on, and I've got it currently sitting in a vapor rust bath because trying to get to the rust that was on it with a wire brush was rather difficult. So it's taken a bath. We're going to put that on at the very end. So let's go ahead and start talking about what I did for the plastics. As you saw from the footage in 2019, this thing was originally pink and purple and had some flames built into it. And I was going to order brand new plastics, a whole plastic kit, the hood, the chain cover, and the belly pan. But all in all, it was about $500. And I don't think, since I'm going to be keeping it, that I want to invest that much money. That being said, I couldn't sell a fully powder-coated snowmobile that's Arctic Cat green and black with pink and purple plastic. So I scuffed the plastic, I cleaned them up, I scuffed them up, and then I the old spray paint treatment. So it's not good by any means. It's definitely just spray paint, and quickly at that. But at least it matches what we're going with. The next owner, it's going to be a driving sled, not a shelf piece, right? I had originally thought that we were always going to drive this thing, but I wanted to look showroom quality. This time around, it's not quite showroom quality, but it's going to be better than most that are currently for sale in the market. So with that being said, these are dry and ready to go. Let's get them thrown on the snowmobile. Yeah, no, we're going to go ahead and put the airbox on next. All right, guys, we're wrapping this thing up, and it's looking, it's going to be so hard to sell this thing. I just love it so much. Even though we partnered a $500 powder coat job with a $10 rattle can job, it doesn't look that bad, really. It does have some imperfections, but hey, at the end of the day, if this is a riding sled, I'm happy with it. It looks super good. Now, when it comes to the hood, we're going to throw this thing on. It's the last thing we have left to do, but I want to show you on these kitty cats, they notoriously break off on both the belly pan and on the hood. You can see the hinges there, but there's nothing there and there's nothing there. So in the 42 years of its existence, at some point someone put on metal hinges. I'm just going to throw that back. Again, if I was keeping it and making it showroom quality, I would have replaced both the plastics, but in this scenario, I just want it functional and rideable for when the season comes up. So last but not least, let's go ahead and throw on that hood. All right, guys, that is going to be a wrap for the 1980 Arctic Cat Kitty Cat, and I got to give it probably a 7 out of 10. I would say it's not perfect to where I want it to be, but it is complete. It does look good and it does run well. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and throw it up on Facebook Marketplace, see if I can't get it sold. Now, we're in Iowa and it is the month of April, so it's not ideal selling condition for a snowmobile, but these kitty cat Arctic Cats are very rare. They don't come up for sale very often, especially looking good and running good. So I think the value is going to be right around $1,000. I would say $1,200 on the top end, but on the low end, $800 considering the season, and no lower. Just because the work that went into it, the amount of dollars that went into just powder coating alone, let alone all the new parts. So we're going to try and get that out of it, get this thing off the table, and move to the next one. So as far as the format is concerned with these upcoming videos out of the shop, I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I've got a lot of outstanding projects that I need to get cleaned up and I need to get moved on and out of the shop. Because for my peace of mind, I just need them done. So I've got a couple requests here at the end of this video. One, I need you to like it. If you like the content, if you like the style, if you just like hanging out with me in the shop, please like this video. And two, if you've made it this far into the video and you are not yet subscribed, what are you doing? Do yourself and myself a favor. Hit that subscribe button because that is the only way I can guarantee I will see you on the next one.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my own.